Hi, and welcome to the next edition of Easy Eats. Today's recipe is a chicken and rice casserole. Okay, so I already have my ingredients laid out. Be really easy. This is one of the easiest things you will ever do. So the first thing we need to do is we need to turn our oven on. We need to preheat the oven at 350 degrees. So we'll go do that first. There you go. That's the default for mine, so it's even easier. Okay, so what you're going to need is a 9 by 13 pan, okay, or as close to this size as you can. If you don't have this exact shape, err maybe on the side of a little bit bigger as opposed to a little bit smaller because the rice will expand. Okay, ingredients you're going to need is 2.5 cups of water, 1 cup of rice. I already have it measured out already. 1 can of cream of chicken soup, a package of dried onion soup mix, and then you'll also need some chicken. Okay, so the recipe actually calls for 1 cut up chicken, but what you really need are just 4 to 6 pieces of chicken. Use what you have, use what you like. Okay, use what's on sale. That's what I always do. So the first thing we're going to need to do is mix the water, the cream of chicken soup, and the dried onion mix. And you're going to mix it right in the pan. Okay, so we don't need to dirty up any bowls or anything like that. Okay, just set that to a side. Just go gloop. I really didn't even have to squish that one out very much. My cameraman is making faces. So we do that. Our little trick. See, worked this time. Okay, so you're going to want that. Dried onion soup. And then the water. Okay. And it's easier to mix these ingredients together first before you add the rice in, because otherwise stuff has a tendency to kind of stick to the rice. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to break up the big pieces of the cream of chicken soup. This is not your dinner, boys. Today's helpers are Apollo, Mackie, and Gobo even just left the room. Okay, out. There's a limit. Okay, so again, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you're using cold water like I did, it's not going to break the soup down very much. You just want to make sure to get it into smaller chunks so it's not that big thing that came out. Okay, then you're going to put your rice in. Okay, mix that all up also. Just get that nicely distributed. Okay, because what's going to happen is as this cooks, the rice is going to soak up a lot of this liquid and it will plump. And the liquid's pretty much going to go away. Or at least most of it. And then it's going to turn into a marvelous sauce. Then the next thing you need to do is just put your chicken right on top. Okay, like I said, the original recipe calls for 1 cut up chicken. But, you know, use 4 to 6 pieces of whatever you have. I almost always will have frozen chicken breasts on hand, okay? Because they're nice, they're convenient, and that's what I like to use. So you're just going to put them down. Okay, make it so they fit however is best working for you. So that's 3. Got some little ones. And I got one more kind of big one, medium-sized one, I guess I would call that. So I'm just going to tuck that in right there. That's the recipe. Doesn't get much easier than this. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get some foil because you're going to want to bake this covered. And stuff falling behind me, you know. There's always got to be something, doesn't it? Okay. So once it's in, I like to go ahead and just run my fingers around the top like that just to help it stick. So we're just waiting on the oven still, and there it is. So again, you want your rack about in the middle. You're going to put your casserole covered with foil, going to put it in the oven. Aim for about the middle. Then you're going to set your timer to begin with. Start it for an hour. Okay, this will need to cook anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. It depends on whether you're using fresh chicken, frozen chicken, how big your pieces are, things of that nature. So we'll start at 160. We'll start at 1 hour, and then I'll check it. And if it needs to continue cooking, then we will continue cooking. Ultimately, what you want to do is you just need to cook it long enough for the chicken to be cooked through. And that means you want an internal temperature of about 165. If you don't have a thermometer, that's okay. Just cut a little piece of it and just make sure that it's not still pink on the inside. Okay, so we have about 10 seconds left before the timer goes off, and then we'll pull the chicken out and we'll take a look and make sure the chicken's done, and then we'll decide whether we need to put it back in or not. And there's the magic tone. And as always, gotta have your protectors on. So when you're taking it out, you want to be real careful. So pull the shelf out a little bit. And carefully take it out because it might be a little juicy. Push that back in. Okay, so to clean this, take this off. You want to be careful. You want to try to open it away from you because there's going to be steam that's going to come out. Okay, and you don't want to get burned. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, so you want to find a pretty thick piece of chicken. That looks good. So what you want to do is just find a thick piece, and then you're just going to cut into it. Okay, and you want to look, so you don't want any pink in there. Okay, want it to be nice and white, and then so nice and cooked. So if you look, so now you've got some good sauce. You're good to go. So we don't need to put this one back in. If you, when you check your chicken, if there's still some pink inside, go ahead and put it back in 5 minutes at a time and just keep checking the thick pieces. And as soon as that's ready, then you'll be good to go. So hope you enjoyed it. Chicken and rice, easy eats. Miss you guys. Bye-bye.